everyone. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. I've had a few people ask about how I plan my weeks out, how I make sure I get everything done, especially being a distance education student because I'm not on campus all the time. I don't go to campus. So I've had a lot of people ask how I plan my weeks out to make sure I get everything done. So I thought I would just kind of do a quick little plan with me video so you can see how I plan my weeks, how I schedule things to make sure that I get everything done and study and all of that. So this is the planner that I use. This is an Erin Condren life planner, and I'm sure if you are kind of a planning type person, I'm sure you've heard of this type of planner. It's very popular, but this is what I use. So I've already gone ahead and put in here all of my class times for this upcoming week. So this is next week, starting Monday the 23rd of January. And so I always, before the semester even starts, I always put in all of my, let me show you, all of my classes that I have for the week. And that way I know, when I am going to make my schedule for the week, I already know what times I can't schedule other stuff so that I don't, mess up my schedule. So every Monday for my school, we have our exams at 12 p.m. So this Monday, I have my drug information exam 2 at noon. So that's my first thing. Tuesday, I have 2 classes. I have pharmaceutics and I have pharmacist provided care. So I have those classes on Tuesday, and I wrote the times out as well, so I know not to plan anything else. On Wednesday, we have a meeting with our class advisor. So he's just the person that we meet with to talk about any struggles we're having, any concerns with the classes or with the program, anything like that. And then Thursday, I have biochemistry and microbiology back to back. So that's my schedule for the week. And so basically I just use this to plan everything else around it. So the very first thing I always do is I go in and I write down all of my meals, because I think it's really important to make sure you plan out your meals for the day so that you give yourself that break, and you make sure you eat, because that's very important. So that's the very first thing I'm going to do. I always give myself an hour for meals because I am a slow eater, and I think it's important to just take that time, maybe catch up on YouTube videos or call my sister or my mom. And then usually I leave the weekends blank because I don't like to plan out my weekends so much. I like to enjoy my weekends, so I sleep in and all that. So usually I have a snack before my exam. I don't like to eat a full meal. And then I'll usually eat my lunch after I finish. So let's say probably 1:30. Okay, so those are all of my meals. So I'm gonna go ahead and schedule my workouts because I really plan on working on my fitness this year, and I like to schedule it in my planner so that I always know that I have that time scheduled for working out, and so that way I won't miss a workout. So what color should I do that in? I think I'll do this light blue color. These are the Stradletter Tri Plus Fine Liners, by the way, if you're wondering what marker I'm using. So usually I like to work out kind of later in the afternoon. I don't really like working out so much in the morning because I feel like I'm much more productive academically in the morning. So I think I'll do workout 5 to 6. And these are fluid. A lot of times if I finish some things early, I'll start my workout earlier. Things are fluid. And then before I start filling in my days, I do like to decorate it a little bit. So I just grabbed a couple washi tape colors. I don't do anything crazy because I usually fill these boxes in with so much stuff that I just don't like it to get too much and too cluttery with like decorations. So usually I just kind of outline, the sides and stuff with some washi tape. So I thought these colors were pretty, so I thought I would do this week. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and add a couple of stickers. I have this one here for tracking your weight, and like I said in my last video, I'm trying to lose some weight, not only for my health, but because I am getting married this year, and I want to get skinnier. So, not skinnier, I want to be fit. So, I'm trying to lose some weight. So, I'm really working hard at it. And this will just kind of help me track my weight. I weigh myself in on Wednesdays because that's when I started exercising, like for real, for real. I also have these water trackers that I've been using just to keep track of my hydration, make sure I'm staying hydrated. I obviously try to drink more than this because I am working out too, but I like to keep this in here just to kind of track my water intake. That's pretty much all I do to decorate it. Again, I really don't go crazy because I do fill in the days so much with so much stuff for school. So now that we got that, okay. So what I do before I plan out my study schedule is my school gives us this schedule and basically has all of our classes and all of the lectures that we have to watch for each week. So it breaks it down by week on here. And so I use this to plan out my week. So what I do is I use this and I use our online portal to then make my own little outline of every lecture that I need to watch for the week. And then I go in and I open up each lecture in the video player that it comes in and I write down how long it is because each of the lectures are a different amount of time. And you can see here, like my biochem lectures are not that long, but I'm seeing my microbiology professor must like to talk because his lectures are pretty long. So I do that before I plan anything out so that I know how long the lectures are, because if I'm planning out an hour of class time, obviously an hour, lecture is like gonna take the whole hour for this class where I can watch a couple in this class. So that's what I do. So I'm gonna take this and basically use this to build my schedule. So I try to make sure that I do something for each class every day. Usually that works out, sometimes it doesn't. So on Mondays, I always have an exam at noon on Mondays. So depending on the class, sometimes I just dedicate the morning before the exam to reviewing for that exam. Or sometimes if it's an exam I'm not so worried about, I will give myself an hour or so for another class, and then I'll review for the exam. And I think that's what I'm going to do on Monday. I think I'll watch a couple of lectures before I review for my exam because it's not a ton of info on this one, and I have the whole weekend, and recording this right now, it's only Friday, so I just have the whole weekend to study still. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So you see I color code all my classes, and I do that in my planner as well just to keep me organized. So my biochemistry class is red on here. I use it for last semester when I had biochemistry 1. I also did red, so I'm going to stay with that theme. So what I do is like I said, I try to do every class every day, and I try to keep the same schedule every day. So when I get up in the morning, my first class, and I did this last semester too, my first class was always biochem, just because I really like biochem, and so it's kind of like a fun way to start my morning. So biochem, and I'll do that from 8 to 9. And I think I'll just do, well, okay, so if I'm doing it from 8 to 9, I can do, honestly, I could probably do all these. Actually, I think I'll just do the first 3. That way, if I have to pause and take notes and all that, I have time to do that. So, what I usually do, I also use these little dots that I got from like an Etsy shop. They're just like little sticker sheets of dots of different colors. So I use these as like my check boxes. So I'm going to do the first 3 biochem lectures on Monday. Okay, so once I do that, I go through and I just check off that I have those scheduled to be done. And then again, I have my drug info exam at noon. So I'm not even going to write a time, but I'm just going to write review for exam for the rest of the morning. And that way I just know this is my time to review for the exam, get some makeup on, dress professionally because we're required to dress professionally for our exams. Eat my snack, all that. So from 9 to 12, I'm just going to be reviewing and all that stuff. Okay. Then, let's see. Mondays are always a little funny. I don't have the same schedule on Mondays that I do for other days because of that exam in there. So what I think I'll do is, I think I'll do a micro lecture after that because there are some so long such long lectures, it's going to be hard to fit them in 1 hour in the other days. So I think I'll do the Y microbiology one. Microbiology. So if I'm eating lunch at 1:30, let's say 1:30 to 2:30. So let's say 2:30 to 3:30. And I try to make sure that the amount of time that I spend in the lecture is shorter than the hour, because of course you're watching the lecture, you're pausing it, you're taking notes, you're Googling anything you don't know. So you want to make sure that you don't, have a lecture taking up your entire hour, because then you're obviously going to go over that hour. Now this one shouldn't, because it's just kind of an intro, because this is our first week of like actual classes. So it's just an intro lecture, but you want to make sure that you have that extra time. I'm going to go ahead and already check off this, because for my drug information, this is our 2-week mini course. So this is going to be over after Monday, pretty much. We have a couple of assignments during the semester, but for the most part, this class is going to be finished after Monday. Okay, so 3:30. So I try not to really heavily pack my schedule on Mondays, just because you're coming off of an exam. A lot of times you're kind of have a lot of anxiety because you're so stressed out for the exam, and then Mondays can be stressful with the exam. So I try not to pack it too much. I think I will add one law lecture in there though, because this is the first week, so these are all kind of intro lectures for the most part. So I think I'm just going to do the first law lecture. And then you can see these two classes, I actually don't have anything this week, assignment wise or lecture wise. So that's exciting. And then I think I'll give myself the night off to relax. All right. So then moving on to Tuesday. So again, I'm going to start with biochem. I did that last semester too. I just really like biochem in the morning. Don't judge me. I know that's weird. Now, just because I finished the requirements doesn't mean that's all the biochem I'm going to do for the week. So I'll show you that in a little bit. I think next, my second class, I think I'll do pharmaceutics this semester second. Last semester I did anatomy second, but I don't have anatomy. But since I have a class session, I think I'll get some pharmaceutics done. So those are those. All right. At 10, I'm going to run out of room. I think I'll do some micro. I like to get the harder stuff done in the morning because I feel like my brain is fresher. And then by harder, I mean like the more sciencey. So that's just my preference. And then I'm running out of room. Oh no. Oh well. I want to do law from 11 to 12. How do I fit that in there? Usually it's a lot more organized than this. I don't know. I just got excited and I wrote too big. That's going to drive me insane all week, but at least I have it written in there. Okay, so I'm going to get those done, and then I have lunch, 2 classes, and then I'm not going to put anything here because I only have a half hour between then and when I want to work out. And I think I'll give myself the night off there too. Okay, moving on to the next day. So if you've watched any of my other videos, like my note-taking videos, you've seen that I always rewrite my notes. That's just something I do for every class to help me study. So when I watch the lectures first, I just take notes in my notebook kind of sloppily, and then I will go back and I'll rewrite them. This way I'm seeing the lectures like twice in the beginning. Micro. I still have lectures to watch for micro. And again, I could just do 2 hours of micro right here, but for me, I just like to switch it up every hour. I don't like to do the same class for 2 hours just because I get bored. So, but if if you're following this and you're making your schedule, totally do what works for you, So then I'm going to do law. And I'm going to do the last 2 lectures for that. After that, I think I'll go back to micro. That's gonna be more than an hour probably. Okay, and then 3 to 4. You know what? I think I'll just leave this blank because that is already a 59-minute lecture, and if I'm taking notes off of it, that's gonna take me more time. So I think I'm just gonna leave that empty there. And again, I like to give myself the night off. Okay, moving on to Thursday. So again, I like to start with my biochem. And then I'm going to move on to learning objectives. So again, if you saw my study with me, or not study with me, but like my how I study video, I can't write and talk at the same time. After I rewrite, so I take my original notes, I rewrite my notes, and then I go back and I answer the learning objectives. So some classes in my school give us learning objectives for a specific topic, and some classes don't. So if they, like this class does, they give us the learning objectives. So I kind of Cornell note style, well, not really Cornell, I just kind of ask the question on one side and I put the answer on the other side. And I try to do that without looking at my notes to make sure I understand the content. And if the class doesn't give us learning objectives, then I'll make up my own. So I just go through the content and I'm like, I'll just look at it and say, okay, what could a professor ask me about on a test about this topic? And I'll make my own. My handwriting is so bad because I'm trying to like keep the page straight so you can see it. So I'm sorry if my handwriting is too hard to read. For micro, I'm going to do this homework that I haven't scheduled yet. And then I have law. And again, I'm going to do that homework that I didn't do yet. Okay, so it looks like I have everything checked off on my paper. So that means I've completed every required assignment, but now I have to, of course, go above and beyond to make sure I've mastered the content. So basically once I get to the learning objectives, that's kind of the furthest I go in a week to mastering the content. And then if an exam's coming up, so the next exam is the kickoff exam, which is every class rolled into one exam. So every class picks a couple of questions and puts it into one exam, and that's our kickoff exam. So basically, I need to make sure I've mastered the content from this week so that I can ace the kickoff exam, because that's my first real test grade. But usually if it was like a micro exam, I would then kind of focus on micro for the rest of the week. But I'm gonna have to focus on everything, yay. Again, so since this ends at 3:30 and this ends at 4, or starts at 4, I'm going to just leave that blank because sometimes things run over, or I can work out a little bit earlier maybe and get it done. So I think that's all I'm gonna do on Thursday. Since I've already done the learning objectives for biochem and pharmaceutics, I think I'm going to kind of move these classes up so that I can get those, because I haven't rewritten those ones yet. So I'm going to do micro. So I'm fluid. So this is the general structure I like to keep. Like I like to generally start with biochem first and then keep the same schedule. But once you get to the end of the week, you see how some classes kind of are easier to get stuff done. Some classes take a little bit longer. So you just adjust, And I'll put learning objectives. I know that I won't be able to start and finish it. And then I'm out of time. So actually, I think for Friday, I might just make this 8 to 10. Oh, that looks so bad. This week is literally the messiest week just because of the way I'm trying to contort my hand. It's so messy. Normally, I feel like it doesn't look this messy. I would show you an example, but I haven't really written anything in here. I haven't written too much because I haven't had a lot of homework yet, or a lot of stuff to learn yet. So we'll do law from like 10 to 12. And that way I can rewrite the notes and get the learning objectives done. What I usually do, once I get to the end of the week and I have all this blank space, actually a lot of times even by Friday, I've kind of finished what I wanted to finish. So I usually leave Friday open. Once I kind of get to Wednesday and Thursday and I see like what's taking longer, what, kind of is left over that I need to accomplish, then usually I'll go back on like Thursday and fill in Friday as I need to be. So for right now, I'm going to leave Friday afternoon open, and I'll take that time once I get there to finish anything that took too long. Like sometimes rewriting notes and doing learning objectives takes longer than I planned on, which is fine. So then I'll just kind of push it back and like add that to my Friday or my Saturday or Sunday. And then, make sure I'm ready for my exam on Monday. But that's generally what I do. So then once I have all of that filled out, I go back and I just double check that all of this is checked off, and it is. And then during the week, while I go through and I check things off on here, I also go back here and you can see I've highlighted the completed column in green. And that's just another way of double checking that I've done everything I'm supposed to do. So once I watch a lecture and there's like a little green like thing that pops up that's saying that we've done it so that the school has notification because that's our attendance. I'll go on here and I'll box it off in green so that I know you're good to go. You finished that lecture. So that's what I do. And again, things get added here and there. Things might get shifted if I need to. I try not to make it too messy in here, but life happens and things do. So that's generally it. If you have any questions or just want some advice on how to plan some things, definitely let me know in the comments below. Hit a thumbs up if you like this kind of video where I go through my schedule with you and my plans. Subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you on my journey through pharmacy school. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.